So, some potentially good news for Elite Dangerous right here. Frontier appear to have committed to a further support of the game into the future. This is from their latest financial report. Frontier is therefore pleased to confirm 3 future CMS games, with one releasing in each of the next 3 financial years: FY25, Financial Year 26 and Financial Year 27. Alongside this, we will continue to develop and support our portfolio of existing games, including Elite Dangerous, our F1 Manager franchise, and Realms of Ruin. This then seems to be confirmation that Frontier are going to continue to support Elite Dangerous going forward. So that would be a pretty good news to anyone who's been unsure of that, and like I've said before, I've been not entirely sure of this myself. However, that said, the information here is suitably vague. There's no actual details on what this may include. We don't really yet know whether this means Frontier will both develop and support Elite Dangerous, or whether they would just support it. Now, all of this comes from Frontier's latest business update, which is publicly available. There's a link in the video description. And it seems the business update was made available following the release of Realms of Ruin. Now, last week I made a video highlighting the fact that it appeared that Realms of Ruin had underperformed and sold pretty poorly. Frontier now confirmed that, and I think this is pretty much unprecedented in the gaming industry. I can't off the top of my head think of another example where a big game is released and around about 1 week later the company behind that game comes out and admits it's underperformed. That normally happens much later. So that seems to suggest that Realms of Ruin has not only underperformed, but also potentially significantly underperformed. In fact, if we return to Frontier's previous financial report, we can see they say the board continues to be comfortable with market expectations for financial year 24, with consensus revenue at £108 million. So this report was released fairly recently, and at that point Frontier were publicly saying that they're pretty confident at that £108 million target. Jump forward to this week, however, and Frontier are now saying, following the lower than expected sales performance of Realms of Ruin, the board no longer believes that the current market expectations for financial year 24 revenue of £180 million is likely to be achieved. Updated guidance is for financial year 24 revenue in the range of £80 million to £95 million. So this once again means that Frontier have yet again downgraded their revenue expectations. This appears to be an ongoing trend. They do say though that their other 4 games, Planet Coaster, Planet Zoo, Jurassic World Evolution and Jurassic World Evolution 2, continue to perform well. In fact, they've generated over $100 million of gross revenue each, a combined total of over $500 million. So, with that in mind, Frontier are going to continue working on these types of games, and in fact have announced another one. We can see that right here. So, I don't want to get too heavily into all of this because I spoke about it a little bit in Friday's video with the details on Warhammer Age of Sigmar Realms of Ruin. And we can see today that it is still played, not very well. Around about 200 people in a 24-hour peak as of this recording. A little over 100 people are playing the game right now. All of this information, of course, is important to anyone who's interested in or concerned about the future of Elite Dangerous, because anything that directly affects Frontier is also likely to affect the game as well. And we can see that the gaming press are also picking up on Realms of Ruin and the Frontier's situation. There's an example article from IGN. So with that in mind, we can see that once again this bad news has affected Frontier's share price. As of this recording, it's sitting at £1.57 per share, down from slightly over £2 on Friday. But as with all things, shares do fluctuate, and it's possible it may recover a little. And one other note from Frontier's business report, they now expect that in the financial year 25, so next year, they're actually going to break even, and so that means they're not expecting at the moment to make a profit. It's very difficult then to see what this means for the future of Frontier. They're clearly struggling, clearly having a lot of problems. I do feel they have some value with all their management titles, and they do seem to be suggesting that they feel that they can recover, that they're in a good position. But the truth is, they've been saying that multiple times now, for quite a long time. Whichever way it goes though, for now, they are committing to the future of Elite Dangerous, and that's the point that I think most people here are going to be mostly interested in. What that means for the type of content that the game gets, however, is still largely unknown. It's pretty clear to me that there's not going to be a huge scale DLC or expansion in the horizons, because otherwise Frontier would have certainly have announced it, just in the same way they've announced all the other titles that they're working on. Well, I say titles, they've announced they've got other games in the works, although not necessarily specifically titled them, and an expansion for Elite Dangerous doesn't appear to be among those announcements. So yeah, whilst not large-scale content in the sense of an Odyssey-sized update or Horizon-sized update, I think it's pretty reasonable to expect that the game is not going to be shut down, and that's something I've been saying for a very long time now. The future though, however, is still pretty unclear on exactly what's going to be happening with Elite. Let's hope we hear something on the official channels very soon. Do let me know what you'd like to see with the game in the comment section. Meanwhile, do check out these other videos.